definitely try and introduce yourself to as many people as you can do. I think.
Chumsi,
Yes.
how are we doing?
Good to be here.
Thanks for coming on, honestly. I think you're one of our students from nearly 2 years ago now that came through Entertech's program. So
Yeah.
really good to have you on, running it 360.
Yeah.
You're currently an SDR or BDR at S&P Global. So
Yep.
a company I used to work for actually as part of a IHS market, which was bought out by S&P. So yeah, we'd love to hear your journey. What are you up to at the moment? Tell us about yourself.
All right. I don't know where to start, but I'll start currently. So yeah, S&P. We've been there for about. I'm actually at my 1 year anniversary about a month, 2 months ago.
Nice.
It's kind of going quick, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
So that was your 2 year anniversary?
No, 1 year anniversary.
1 year
So it started in
anniversary.
September.
Yeah,
Around September, start of September.
great stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
it's been-
And I guess for the listeners that are tuning in, what was your initial journey into the tech space? So obviously, I know your story,
Yeah.
but loads of people don't know. So I
Yeah.
guess the reason Sales and Sports is here is to talk about crossovers between sales, sports, and people's journeys breaking into the tech industry. So, do you want to take us back to
How far
maybe
do you wanna
like school and how you got to where you are today?
Okay,
We'd love to hear that full cycle.
See, I think so I didn't really know I wanted to get into tech sales. I kind of sort of played to my skill set, I guess. But I've always sort of had an interest in sales. So during university, my first sort of job was door-to-door selling, which was it was challenging, but I think that developed my skill set a lot early stages. So some things that I still use today would be sort of like my resiliency, sort of my resiliency is that adaptability, that sort of willingness to learn to sort of maybe do good in your role, because you don't want to be out on the roads if you're not good at your role. So you want to sort of develop yourself as much as possible. So
100%.
yeah, really listening to other people, sort of kind of being a student, sort of developing myself as much as I can, sort of do good in my role, sort of something I still carry today.
Nice.
So that was a good experience, but so I did that that was in between after my first and second year. But then so my sister, she does quantity surveying, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do, to be honest. So I did business management, which is kind of very broad degree. I didn't really have an idea what to do, so I thought I wanted to get into quantity surveying. So so I actually did some volunteering. So I don't think I've even told you this, to be honest.
Yeah,
But,
I guess before you get into that, I
yeah.
just want to know how. So, what were you studying? What university were you at?
Yeah.
So you studied business.
Yeah, business management.
What was the thought after school? Did you go straight into that? Like, did you put much thought into it, or just thought, why not give it a go?
So I did it at business management at Coventry University, but in terms of going into what I wanted to get into after, I had nothing set in stone. So I had nothing that I directly really wanted to get into. I just thought, kind of, let me see how it goes, how I develop it through uni.
And that's where you were working in the door-to-door role.
Yes, so that was more of a summer. Yeah, so that was a summer role, to be honest. So it was about 3-4 months that I did that.
Wow.
It was a good experience for me. I needed the money, but I just thought I'm always up for a challenge to myself personally as well.
And what were you selling? What were you selling door to door?
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh boxes, yeah.
Love that. Love that. So you were the guy knocking on the door
Yep.
at like stupid o'clock.
Yeah, that was me.
Respect that. Yeah. I mean, I guess was that central London? Was that Coventry? And
that was all over. So the head office was actually in Old Street, but we'll travel all over London. Sometimes outside of London, overground. It was a hard graft, but yeah, I learned a lot.
So talk me through that day. So you physically driving a van with food, or you just
no driving around with food. So we'll meet up at the headquarters. So I think that was probably about maybe 30, 40 of us. All selling HelloFresh, and we'll have like a team of maybe 7 or 8 of us, and we'll all have sort of like a map for a different location. So it will change every day. Every morning it will change, and yeah, we'll get the train there. I just have my my script in my head and a sort of example menu card, and just knocking on doors, just sort of building up rapport with people. Yeah, it's trying to build up rapport with someone as soon as they open the door. So I'm talking like rapport building maybe about a minute or so.
Yeah.
And trying to build up a good rapport, offering them their pitch, asking them questions, open-ended questions, kind of getting them to kind of give you some good feedback, and then just trying to tailor my offering to what they're sort of looking for.
100%.
which I think it's a sales 101 really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you're getting so many different characters that
Yeah.
you're opening the door up. Like,
Yeah.
have you got like a funny story or like the craziest experience?
um, off the top of my head, no. But there's just something you never know who you're really gonna open the door to. So there's some people that they might just shut the door in your face, just not give you a word to do, and but you just have to kind of just get back on the horse. And I think that's similar to what I'm doing now on the phones. I mean, some people, I'm kind of grateful now that a lot of people have got time for me. So I think the brand that I've got is it kind of speaks a lot for itself as well. So people do have the time for you, but there's some people that just don't have the time for you, so they might just shut you down. But it's just all about kind of just getting back on the horse immediately. You don't have to like sort of just, have some time to sort of get yourself together and all that. Just forget about it and just get back on the horse, really.
Yeah, on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one. On to the next one.
It's crazy how even from door-to-door sales, I did that before I got into software sales.
Yeah.
It's like the best baptism of fire because
Yeah.
you're going to take it wherever you go in
Yeah.
life. Even if you decide not to get into
Yeah.
software sales, just from doing door-to-door sales, you learn a lot about yourself,
Yeah.
about people, how just to be direct,
Yeah.
and obviously try and build a relationship even if
Yeah.
you have a couple of seconds. So how many, just so interested, like how many doors would you knock a day?
I'd say maybe about a good 50 to 70.
50,
I'd
70?
say, yeah.
And you'd say like one or two you'd sign up on a day? Is that a good day?
I'll say maybe about 2, 3. Expectation was 2,
okay.
3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. So you did that during uni.
Yeah.
And then I guess did your degree teach you anything about sales, your business degree or technology?
Not particularly. I mean, we had different modules. So we had economics modules, law modules,
Accounting,
accounting modules, some sort of finance modules,
marketing.
business change. So it's quite general.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I've got it from, but I think my skill set just lent itself to sales. I naturally just like talking to people.
Yeah.
And I thought everyone's kind of pretty much like that, but not everyone's like that too much. You've got introverts and extroverts. I've learned as I've gone along, but I naturally just like talking to people, and people they give me a lot of time for some reason as well.
Nice. I can imagine you'd be good at, obviously you're doing what you're doing now in software sales, but I can imagine you'd be really good at door-to-door sales as well because you're very personable and can get on with people.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny because even my degree didn't teach me anything about sales or the commercial side of business, whereas a business degree should teach you, a really important skill, which is selling. And I guess that's a big reason why Entertech, exists, and we're really focused on training people on commercial skills and getting them into, the digital economy. So, super interesting. So you went from door-to-door sales or finished your degree. Did you do anything in between, or you mentioned some volunteering work or charity work? Or?
So yes, I thought, as I said, I wanted to get into quantity surveying, but I just thought of one thing I can say to my credit is I've always tried to like take the best steps into sort of achieving what I wanted to do. So in terms of getting a role into sort of like an internship or a graduate role in construction, whether it be project management or whatever, I thought I just have to do something to my CV to sort of make myself stand out. So actually, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I actually volunteered on site. I just literally pulled up at a random site during my university in my third year. Just asked if I can volunteer, just so I can just sort of have that sort of on my CV, and so people can just see that sort of drive and that eagerness to kind of develop my skill set and just kind of get myself in the industry, sort of thing.
Like a building site.
Yeah, literally. I swear to you, I just volunteered on the building site.
Unpaid what?
Unpaid. Yeah, I asked them. I said, "Yeah, can I just volunteer?" And I think they were a bit taken back that I wasn't willing to get paid for it, but he actually offered me to pay me some money for it as well.
Scared.
Yeah, but you can sort. I think he can sort of my drive and determination. He actually he offered me to pay me as well.
Nice.
For my time. So I was doing that on weekends for a bit, and I eventually actually did, to my benefit, I actually got an internship at Mace Construction. So that was 2019 to 2020, and then lockdown cut it down a bit early. But I just think during my time at that role, that's when I think my personality kind of got out a bit more, and I noticed that I was very good at networking, so even with different SMEs within the business, just connecting with different people, and it kind of worked to my benefit. And I think other people told me my character sort of lends itself to sales. So I thought, you know what, let me try and get into sales. So I did a marketing job. So it was an online marketing job. So we were helping people to develop their websites. So they're developing their websites, marketing campaigns. So I was doing that for a bit. That was all remote, and then I went into thought let me just step out for a bit. Then I went into sort of property sales.
Mm.
So that was good. I enjoyed that. So that was service helping people with their service accommodation, contractors that needed accommodation for their projects. So I'll be reaching out to a load of different construction firms that were working away from their headquarters as a sense, and they'll be needing somewhere for their contractors to stay. So it was aside. So it was a sort of a better alternative to hotels. So instead of your team staying in a hotel, we would have properties all over England, and we'll sort of kind of situate them in a property. So we'd have a price that we would get the property at, and then I would sort of mark it up as much as I wanted to, as much as I could, to be honest. So it was a sort of 360. So it was originating the sales, negotiation, and closing. And I did that. So I enjoyed that. That was good.
So you're basically trying to find tenants, or trying to find a business for service apartments.
Yes, essentially. So mostly it was contractors in the construction industry.
Was that like cold calling, or was it pretty much warmer?
Pretty much cold calling. So I'd be calling up, so maybe sometimes the project managers, or it could be the project managers themselves, ask them if they've got any projects on, if they travel away. Or it could be the receptionists, the people that do the planning for projects. It pretty much depends, the persona. But yeah, it was cold calling.
Nice. You enjoyed it?
I did. I enjoyed it. But the only thing was, it was 100% remote. So at that point, so I'd done 2019 to 2020. I think we started going on lockdown around March. So I was doing that remote, and the sales and marketing job before was remote too. So I'd been remote for about 2-3 years, and obviously we've got back to normal now. I just thought, you know what, I want to get back into this. I like the office feel, just being around people, sort of learning from other people. So I thought, you know what, and I'm still young as well, so I thought, you know, I don't mind. Like my mum, she was kind of done with it after lockdown. She enjoyed staying at home, but I kind of like even the commute, just being outside, socialising people, socials after work, just meeting new people. So I thought, you know what, let me get back into the office, and I kind of knew, I'm thinking, if I like sales, where's the money at sales? I thought tech sales, but sort of try and break into tech sales, but even that is a lot easier said than done. So
100%.
there's a lot of roles that I'm looking at, but I don't have the experience. They want some SDR experience in. I don't have that at that point. I've got sales experience, and I'm willing to learn, but if you don't really have that experience on your CV, it's very difficult. So got knocked back a few times, even though that was what I want to do, but kind of stuck at it. Luckily, I managed to find the Entertech program, which is a godsend, really. And I think our journey started together.
Yeah,
on the course.
100%. Honestly, it's very kind of you to say that. Like, it means a lot. But yeah, when we first met, I can remember you just had a really good energy and aura about you, and you were saying that you were willing to, number one, willing to learn, willing to just get stuck into like an office environment. Because a lot of people, I guess, post-COVID become, I wouldn't say lazy, but they don't want to be in and active, and I could just tell you were just up for anything, which is half the battle, right? If you're going to jump in, like come in two-footed, like that's what you want if you're going to get into software sales, because as you know, right, it's not easy when you start, and just have a bit of I guess a bit of resilience, but also a bit of up and drive about you. That's the main thing, right? If you're people and got the drive. So super cool. So you'd had, applied to a few jobs, got some knockbacks. So a lot of these firms say you need at least a year or 2 years of tech experience.
Exactly.
Which is ridiculous, like, because you're basically already snookering people that are good, that like, just give them a chance.
Yeah.
So you came across Entertech, and what time was that? Rewind me, when was that?
So this would be, I think it was 2022, around October, late 2022. Because I remember it was dark.
Yeah, I remember actually.
I did my application for you. I remember it was dark. I was in my room. I think you had 5 questions that I need to I answered. I sent the application. I think it was late 2022.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then you like pretty much came on the program. And I guess, how did you find the program, and talk to me through, that journey from getting onto the program, onto Entertech, and then getting into a full-time role?
So as soon as I found the program, I knew that this is exactly what I needed, and it would really sort of develop my skill set. So I mean, I think from the sort of the industry professionals that come on, sort of have a chat with you, that was good, and it's also the skills and fundamentals. I think that's what I needed. So in terms of like sort of email outreach, phone outreach, sort of the industry professionals they're actually currently in the role, I thought that was such a key aspect as well. Because talking to people, you can ask questions. They open the floor up as well. So you kind of know if you've got anything that you're hesitant about, instead of maybe just sort of asking your own obviously I know interviewers, they like hearing questions too, but someone that's working at someone that's also successful in the role is quite important. I thought that was so key to have on the podcast. I really appreciated that, and yeah, I think I took advantage of that too.
Yeah, 100%. I think you took it with both hands. I
Yeah.
think, it's quite funny because once you're in the industry, it's
Yeah.
easy to forget. Even I today, you
Yeah.
forget how sort of foreign it is if you're
Yeah.
not in tech
Yeah.
and you don't know the lingo or
Yeah.
what's expected of you or certain
Yeah.
skills. It can be like
Yeah.
your Chinese language. Like,
Yeah.
it's completely foreign, right?
Yeah,
So if you go
100%.
to an interview and people are asking, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know what is ARR,
Mhm.
annual recurring revenue,
Yeah.
all these concepts,
Mhm.
and even how to leverage a CRM, how to use a CRM.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know, it's really hard to get that foot in the door.
Mhm.
So no, I'm glad. Obviously, you found us, you found EdTech, and
Yeah.
glad you're doing so well. So, talk me through the interview process, because even after EdTech, or you know, when we were putting you forward for interviews,
Yeah.
there was a couple that
Mhm.
you know you had knockbacks in
Yeah.
terms of things don't work out, or
Mhm.
you'd been approved, and then
Yeah.
the HR would
Yeah.
say we're paused hiring.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like that journey. Like, how was it actually going to interview? Like, were you nervous? Obviously, everyone's.
Yeah.
I suppose every first. I guess you had experience before Instech
Yeah.
with some interviews, but
Yeah.
they're quite daunting, right? Like,
Mhm.
talk me through the interview process, and then
Mhm.
maybe the interview process where you are today at S&P.
So yeah, I think it's always good to have a few interviews, just to have that sort of experience, just to have that sort of familiarity talking about yourself, just sort of selling yourself in the best light. I mean, personally, I don't mind talking, so I was quite happy to sell myself. Even though I did have, I'd say, limited SDR experience. I've been on the course, but in terms of actually working the role, luckily we did work together as well, which was that was a great experience for me too.
Yeah. So for those listening,
Yeah, give us a bit of background.
Chumsi
Yeah.
actually came on board as an intern.
Yeah.
So back in must have been the end of 2022.
Yeah.
Towards the start of 2023.
Mhm.
And you know, came into the office, sat
Yeah.
alongside me, and was reaching out to
Yeah.
other companies. And to your credit, you picked it up.
Yeah.
Ducked water, and you know, I probably was demanding a lot as well at the same
Yeah.
time. But you did so well there.
Mhm.
I think. Well, hopefully, you know, that stood you in even more
Definitely.
stead for interviews, right? Because
Yeah.
you knew the actual ins and outs of the role, and
Yeah.
you sort of got up to speed. So
Mhm.
yeah, talk me through the interview process. Like,
Mhm.
how many companies, all you know, what sticks out to you if someone's listening to the podcast,
Mhm.
right? What advice would you give to them going into interviews, and
Mhm.
how would you deal with that? You know, looking back,
Yeah.
even today, say you went for an interview, like
Mhm.
what things would you recommend to someone coming into the industry?
100% do your research. Definitely do your research on the company. Do your research on the role as well, and do your research on sort of what interests you about the company as well, and the person as well, and the interviewer. I think all those things are so key. So key.
100%. 100%. I remember I went to an interview.
Yeah.
And the interviewer just said like, "What do you know about me?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
Him himself.
Yeah.
All right.
My head was spinning. Luckily, I looked at his LinkedIn
Yeah.
on the commute over.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh yeah, you worked at Monster."
Yeah.
Like the CV
Yeah.
company. I remember it today. Like, and he was asking me loads of questions like, "Why do you want to get into sales?" He's like, "No, but why do you really want to get into sales?"
Yeah.
And I was just talking about, you know, financial motivations, want to
Yeah.
put a deposit down on a house, whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
But they went really deep into the motivations financially as well. Like,
Yeah.
why do they went a second question? Like, they were digging for
Yeah.
that pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. You know, study the interviewer,
Mhm.
study the company, have
Yeah.
like, you know, at least 4 reasons why that company
Yeah.
itself, and then study the job description as well.
100%.
Lots of people forget, you know, you've got to study the job description
Yeah.
and then show your skills and how you can
Yep.
relate to that, right?
So yeah, show you how you sort of align and sort of their sort of their goals and their morals, sort of align yourself with those.
100%. Like values as well,
Yeah,
culture.
values, culture,
Especially for
definitely.
like HR or talent screen.
Yep.
You want, or like the final stage, you want to dig into culture.
Mhm.
I think just transparently, like a lot of sales leaders probably won't dig into culture as much, especially in early stage, but
Yeah.
the last stage, later stages, they will for sure.
Yeah.
And it's important that you also understand what their culture is and you can relate to them. So yeah, so you went into quite a few in person, or were they remote? Like, talk to me through your I guess journey.
So there was quite a few first stages. So normally they're remote. So we did a few over Teams, which is nice. I quite prefer to sort of have a camera as well. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know if it's the same with everyone else, but I quite like to sort of
You like
show.
to look at yourself.
No, I just think it's a bit. I don't know if intimate's the right word, but I think it's just more personal. Just,
Personal.
yeah, I think especially if you're quite. I think being in sales, you kind of want to be able to sort of connect with the interview as well. So
Yeah.
whenever I saw it was the team score, I quite like that, to be honest. And just try and have it. I try to make interviews as conversational as possible because they're a person like you. I think sales as well. You're selling yourself, so you kind of want it to be sort of personable as well. Selling yourself, but very very personable, and just put yourself in the best light. But at the end of the day, just very casual and personable. And just doing the research is important. Why you align with the role. And I think some of the roles that you put me for, I think maybe they might not have. I think just having interviews is good experience. So I think you having some interviews lined up for me, that was great for me to sort of just see the structure of the interviews, what they're asking from me, what the requirements were, how long, even things like how long the interview is when it comes to it. Having some questions lined up as well is so key.
Yeah.
I think that's one key thing to say, especially something that's not highlighted and that they haven't asked about. You definitely need to have a few questions in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Just show that you're engaged. And sometimes asking questions as well. I think you'd know. I think even my boss now would know. I love a question.
Yeah.
But I just think it shows you're engaged, and I'm genuinely quite curious as well.
Yeah.
But I think when people show you're genuinely curious about something and you want to know more about something, they're more likely to give you even more information that you even wanted to know about because they can see you're engaged about something. They like that. So whether it be interviews or the workplace, just show your engagement, so ask questions, and always be available to listen as well. When someone's talking, just pay attention and listen to them.
Yeah.
Maybe ask a question on what they're telling you about.
100%.
Show your engagement, and and people definitely read into that. People definitely read into that.
100%. You gotta have that curiosity, and you know, if you're going to an interview and it's just one-sided and they're asking you questions and you have got nothing to give back, they're gonna think like, what the hell, this person is either super nervous or does not want to get this job, or is not that bothered. So it's definitely worth having a bit of back and forth,
definitely
a couple of rallies.
100%.
Yeah, and I guess another one was like curiosity, right? That's exactly what they're looking for. People that can ask questions, want to show that they're coachable, can learn. So yeah, that's a massive one. I'd say always have, at least 5 to 10 questions ready for the interviewer. And make sure it's two-sided, right?
Definitely. I mean, I don't know if it's best practice or not, but I found most of my interviews, they used to be half an hour, but we'd always tend to kind of stretch a bit longer. Sometimes the interviewer had time, and if he had time, he's very, very happy to speak with me. And we just have that sort of back and forth. I think sometimes they've forgotten the timing as well, just because we've had such a good chat. But I think that's always a good time for me as well. Just
100%.
So that was a good experience. I think even some of the interviews for some of the companies that maybe weren't too keen on was still such a great experience. Still such a great experience. So I think just having that sort of interview experience and kind of just engaging yourself. When you do find that dream role, you'll just be a lot more equipped to do it and equipped to have that interview and put yourself in the best light. Sometimes maybe just getting that dream job just at the start of the interview process, it might. I don't know. I think it just worked out for me that kind of the dream job that I found was a bit later down the line. I think sometimes you might get a bit demotivated, but at the same time, maybe you're demotivated, but you are getting the experience. You've had 4 or 5 interviews that haven't gone your way, but you've learned. Do you know what I mean? You've learned a lot. Maybe some things you didn't go wrong. Maybe you didn't ask a few questions. You choked on a few questions, but every single time it's always a lesson. Never a loss, always a lesson. I don't know who said that, but it makes sense.
I think I've heard you say that one before. But no, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I say to people, just take the interview, even if you're not, 100% committed, because you're going to learn something. You might learn more about the role. But you're just going to develop yourself personally and professionally. So yeah, 100% definitely take the interviews, and also always have next steps. Like you mentioned, if the conversation goes over, such a good sign. But always make sure you're locking in the next steps. It shows like you're already good at sales, right? Every sales conversation should always have next steps, follow-ups, next steps. Always follow up, and just be ready to show them that you really want the role, because they're not mind readers, right? There's probably 10 others candidates that day. you've got to really put your hat on the ring and just show them that you want it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, another thing for me, I think questions that I should have had. I know there was one or two that were just so random and threw me off. But
Go on.
do you know, I really should have remembered them. But there was a few that were so random, and it's just like, yeah, there will be some questions that throw you off. So I think in terms of having taken some interviews on as well before, it's very good to take interviews because there will be some questions that you just weren't expecting.
Yeah, if you can think of like random ones
I'll try to. Yeah,
I've had like, what would your mum say about you if I sat next to her on the tube? Like, okay, this guy's getting deep.
Yeah.
And I was like a CRO.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. But yeah, I guess you get some real couples. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Be prepared for them. Well, you can't really prepare for some of them, but
yeah.
the more out of the box questions that you receive in the interview process, the more you're able to sort of deal with them.
Yeah. And then with S&P, talk to me about that sort of process, because it's a very different environment than just a regular tech scale up or SaaS startup. You know, it's a public listed company on the stock exchange. You know, I've worked at Roadmaker in Moorgate, right? So it's a huge skyscraper you walk into.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking walking into that? Obviously, for the last round, because that must have been sort of heart in your mouth a little bit, or were you pretty calm about it?
Do you know what? I was pretty excited because I knew this is what I wanted. Do you know what I mean? Even like walking up to the building, I worked at Moorgate for the internship. I do like the city. Walking into some massive buildings, massive beautiful building, and I was pretty excited about it, to be honest. I was pretty excited. So I've had a few interviews before that, so I was kind of pretty confident talking about myself and what I can sort of bring to the business as well. I mean, I had quite limited financial experience, especially in private markets. I had pretty much no experience in it, other than a few sort of modules during my uni. Getting the SDR role in private markets, private equity space, I hadn't had that background before, so I really just had to vouch for my personality, my characteristics, how much I was willing to learn in the role, why this is sort of my dream job, and I'm willing to just make it happen, really. And I knew from speaking of the interview that I was up against some sort of good candidates as well, a lot of financial experience, and then I kind of just out loud, I was very transparent with my interviewer. You know him,
Chris.
Yeah. Very transparent with him. So he's a great guy. So he had a lot of time for me. So similar to kind of what I think it was a half an hour interview, but I had a few questions. I think we'd actually got up, and then I had a few questions. He said he was happy for me to sit down. Said, I'm just not springing. I've got time.
Really?
Got time for you. Yeah. So I think that was a good. That was good in my books as well. That he said, do you want to sit down? I've got time for you. Whatever you want to know, I'm here for you right now. So that was positive for my book.
Yeah.
And he had time for more of my questions and everything. But I enjoyed it, to be honest. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed sort of picking his brain about the role, how he sees my development. Because at the end of the day, it's exciting for me to know.
100%.
But I'm not just asking it just to ask it. I'm actually excited what the development in the role is like.
100%.
How the other people fared in the role. How you sort of gotten in the role.
Yeah. So those that are listening, is the companies, obviously we were bought out. I joined a New York-based startup that were based in Shoreditch. It got bought out by IHS Markit, S&P. So you were basically doing the same role that I did, I don't know, 5 or 6 years earlier.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. But I was the same as you. I had no experience in private markets, but I just knew I wouldn't be outworked. I would just put 150% in.
Yeah.
And then actually, like, as you know, the team was so supportive.
Yeah.
Great people, really experienced
100%.
professionals that have worked for, massive firms for over 20, 30 years, and just genuinely good people that like enjoying going to work, working hard, but also having fun at the same time.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I think everyone's good at their job. Everyone's really good at their job, and I think I've really missed that sort of office environment. I mean, especially when I went to work with you for a bit, I think we were pretty much sat next to each other. So I mean, that was such a great experience for me, because I think even at the cold call, I remember we'll take it in turns. So I'd sort of hear your pitch, you would hear my pitch, and we'll kind of go back and forth. And then obviously I'm back in the office now, so I've got a load of people that are sort of all in the same space. So definitely being around people that are definitely good at their job and they're motivated, it 100% rubs off on you.
Yeah, it's a dynamic environment, right?
Yeah.
Also, tech's always changing. You've got smart, intelligent people you're working alongside, different cross-functional teams, not just sales, that you can learn about new products, markets, and also even clients that you're reaching out to different parts of the world. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Really cool.
definitely.
Nice. And then I guess getting up to speed's never the easiest. So like, what advice would you give to someone who's just landed a job
Mhm.
in tech sales as SDR or PDR? Like, what advice would you give to them in the first 3 months, 6 months, 12 months?
Um, Definitely try and introduce yourself to as many people as you can do. I think S&P, that everyone was so lovely and welcome to me, which was great. But yeah, network and just take advantage of all the people around you. I think as a business and as a team, everyone wants you to succeed. We're all kind of intertwined with each other. So the people that in pre-sales, the demonstrations, that really have product knowledge, you're gonna be working with them quite a lot. They're gonna ask you for, so if I'm doing discovery calls with clients, I'm gonna be working with them, telling them what I learned. I'm giving them my notes, sort of thing. So just really grabbing time with everyone and just kind of really just showing interest in everyone else's jobs. And the people are so happy to just give you knowledge when you're engaged.
Yeah.
So I'm just connecting with a load of different people. They're all good at their jobs. They've been there for quite some time. So I'm making yourself available to learn from everyone and just sort of being engaged with everyone will work so much in your benefit, and will just allow you to sort of develop in the role so much quicker.
Nice.
And just taking advantage of that time to be in the office. I know I'm in a hybrid role right now, so the expectations have only been 2-3 times a week. But yeah, once you're in the office, just kind of take advantage of that time that you're in the office, putting time. People are so happy, and they kind of want you to put time in their calendars as well. So they don't want you to sort of just be a lone ranger and just kind of do your own thing and just clock out. People are so happy for you to kind of say, yeah, I want to learn a bit more about this, or how well were you able to do this. And even sometimes looking at your colleagues' sort of LinkedIn and just seeing how quickly they rose from position to position. You're just thinking, wow, you've sort of developed from associate to senior associate in maybe 12 months. Some of them done it in 8 months, 10 months. It's kind of picking their brains and how did you do that? What did you do? And everyone's done things differently. So yeah, just what they did that was successful, what challenges they faced. Because I personally think instead of sort of you going through these challenges by yourself and sort of working so hard to sort of overcome these challenges, other people have kind of gone through that themselves.
Yeah.
So rather than sort of struggle yourself, why don't ask other people how they've managed to kind of overcome these things and kind of just try and put yourself in the best light forward to progress.
Definitely. Sounds like teamwork's a big part of what you do day to day.
Yeah.
Obviously, sales and sports podcast. I know you're a big Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
So we'd love to pick your brain on that. Like, I mean, how big is teamwork in the day to day role in tech sales, but also talks about Arsenal. Generally, I spoke to you on the way in, but yeah, I mean, last season you guys were looking good. It's a bit of a tricky time at the moment.
Yeah. Would have been great to hop on the podcast maybe a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's not going great right now. We've got Chelsea on the weekend for anyone that's watching this. So I'm watching this just before the Chelsea game, just after the Inter loss. But I mean, you're a big Liverpool fan, so I can see you grinning right there.
Yeah.
You're doing good right
Top
now.
of the league.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we bounce back. Because normally we're up and we're doing great until Christmas, and then we have that winter break in Dubai, and then we start to fall off. But hopefully we bring things back soon.
Nice. So you go to quite a lot of the games, don't you? So
Yeah.
you're a big Arsenal fan.
Yeah, big
You
Arsenal
like
fan.
your boxing as well.
Yeah, big. Yeah, I like boxing. Watching boxing is it's entertaining. Watched the AJ recently. That was great. The AJ Dubois.
Yeah.
That was good environment. So yeah, I do love just the whole sociable part of it as well.
Yeah.
It's always good to get to events, sports events. I love it personally.
Nice. And I guess just for people listening, like, what else do you like doing outside of work? Right, you like to travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
I guess perks of tech sales is that it's quite rewarding. So it gives you flexibility to do things that you might not have been able to do lifestyle wise. So yeah, what do you like? What's the best thing about being in tech sales, but also for you, like, what do you like doing outside of work for, like, just to get an understanding of you, really?
Yeah, I do. So I think getting the job has sort of allowed me to open a lot of doors for myself to kind of really take on a lot of my key interests and to really explore, which I've wanted to do. So another good reason to work in tech sales, obviously I'm working commission as well. So the harder you work, the more you get out of it too. So that sort of like accelerates your ambition to sort of learn and really hit the ground running, because as soon as I hit the ground running, I can earn a lot of money from this, to be honest, good money. And So you want to develop your skill set as much as possible, kind of do the things that you really take an interest in. So I do like to travel myself. Like sort of getting into the role has helped me to do that. So I've been to quite a few places this year.
Nice. Go on. Where have you been?
Did Istanbul at the start of the year.
Istanbul.
That was a solo trip. That was nice
How
little
was
break
that?
for myself.
Really?
That was good.
Nice. How is it? So solo trip. I've done a solo trip once, and actually, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
You feel a bit weird when you're at the airport, but actually,
Yeah.
quite nice. You're on your own time.
Yeah. So I've got my own time. Just do my own excursions all at my own pace. So that was a pretty chill one. So they've got a Turkish spa, a nice Turkish spa. It's called hammams.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did one of those. There was a few museums I went to. I like a mixed grill as well. So
Nice.
I love the food out there.
Shawarmas.
Yeah, shawarmas a lot, mixed grill, koftas, chicken sheesh, lamb sheesh. Yeah, drifted away a bit.
Yeah.
But no, good. Yeah, so Istanbul was good. I did Tenerife for power.
Nice.
Managed to get myself to Ibiza, just see the sunsets,
Nice.
a bit of the beaches and all that.
Lovely.
A bit of partying on the side.
Brilliant.
And then Malta was a nice scenery as well.
Yeah.
And then for Christmas, I'm going to see my parents in Zambia.
Nice.
So they moved back to Zambia 2 years ago. So I'm going to see them for Christmas, which is great.
Good
And
stuff.
looking at the tickets, and on the way there, I could actually stop off in Dubai.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm doing 4 nights in Dubai by myself on a solo trip.
Wow.
It's a chill one, yeah.
Nice.
And then
How does that work out? It's almost like a detour.
yeah. So I was looking at the tickets, and I could pass through Dubai
Wow.
for the same price. So thought, yeah, let me just do 4 nights there.
Very
So to
cool.
pay for the hotel.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna do 4 nights there, chill one, and then get to Zambia on the 20th to see my parents. So that'll be a nice break before we get to Q1.
Yeah. Good
Nice
stuff.
little, yeah.
Yeah, it's always important to also like rest up before
Yeah,
the New Year. 'Cause
definitely.
Christmas is always like quiet. December's always quiet.
Yeah.
And then for those that are listening, so Zambia, were you born and raised there, or have you always been in London? Like, what's your connection to Zambia?
So I was born in Zambia. So yeah, I was with my family. We moved here when I was about 6. So my dad got a job here.
Nice.
So it was just the 5 of us. I don't really have any other family in London, but it was just the 5 of us who got a job here. And yeah, it was all right. Obviously went to school, went uni, and only my parents moved back about 2 years ago.
Nice.
But I'm the last one, so I think they was just sort of waiting for me to sort of get back on my feet, get on my feet and all.
Yeah.
So I got the job and everything, and it was a good time for them to move back, be with their families. They're retired now, so
Very cool. And Zambia, I love traveling.
Yeah.
You've got the falls there. Is it Victoria
yeah,
Falls?
Victoria Falls.
Nice.
So just in between Zambia and Zimbabwe, you've got the Victoria Falls in Livingston.
Very cool.
It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. So
Really?
if you've ever
You've
got an
been?
opportunity, yeah, it's beautiful,
Really?
beautiful. Amazing wildlife out there as well.
Mm.
So yes, you've got there's a game park near there, and you've got the falls as well. So if you ever try for a chance to go to Africa, Zambia is a very good shot. Very peaceful country too. Beautiful.
Nice. What's the football team like?
We won, so I'm hanging on this, but we won the African Cup of Combinations in 2012.
2012.
Yeah,
Really?
we won it. Yeah, I'm hanging on to it.
way.
Yeah, for a while. We haven't done too much since then, but
Any Premier League footballers?
Leicester forward. How can I forget his name? Dakar, Patson Dakar.
Dakar, is he?
Yeah, Patson Dakar.
From
I think he's
Zambia?
injured right now. Yeah, Zambian.
Good player.
Yeah, good player. He's I think he's injured right now, but
Nice.
when he's back, he'll help Vardy out a bit. Vardy's getting on, so
Yeah.
we'll see him soon.
Good stuff. And I guess what's next for you going forward in terms of your career and I guess what's your ambitions going forward?
So yeah, I think I'm looking excited to the future. I think I've really had a grasp on the role. I'm quite confident in it. So now I've sort of hit that sort of confidence in the role, and I'm playing I've got quite a lot of responsibility in the business. Taken on quite a lot. We've had a bit of restructuring, so I'm taking on the renewals and the client success sort of part of the business. So my job role is expanding. So I'd really just want to sort of, now we're starting Q1, I really want to have a solid run and just really do the best I can and really try and hit some impressive numbers.
Nice.
Then hopefully by this time next year, maybe we can even start looking at maybe something like, say, a senior associate, or just seeing what sort of options. Maybe I'm selling another product or it's an additional product. Maybe looking at account executive role,
Nice.
AE sort of role.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think now I'm sort of pretty much confident with my role of the product. I'm happy to sort of when I'm taking cold calls, people are asking me challenging questions back.
Nice.
Before, maybe at the start I was a bit shaky, but now I'm inviting it. I love a conversation.
Nice.
So I think me sort of developing my understanding of the role, and sort of being
Yeah.
able to handle a lot more questions.
Yeah.
I really just want to. I'm excited to get on the phones. I
Yeah.
think before the phone will be ringing, you're kind of just a bit.
Yeah.
But now I'm really wanting them to answer. Do you know what I mean? I'm waiting for them to answer, so I'm loving it.
You want that commission check?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I think you told me something about just kind of the money's on the other side of the phone call. So even in terms of getting shot down with everything, you can try and use 20 minutes to sort of get yourself over it, make a cup of tea, and sort of get yourself back in the game. Or you can just try to hit the phone, just go again.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it frees up so much time as well when you're settled in a team. You know the
Yeah.
products. You know that people are vouching for you.
Yeah.
You know the hardest part is probably like the first 6 months or 9 months where you're actually trying to figure out the team structures internally, but also the product knowledge.
Yeah.
But once you get into your groove, that's when it's like showtime, and if you can do it consistently, good things naturally happen, right?
Yeah.
It's like I guess footballers in the Premier League, you know, they might have a good couple of games, but you do it season after season.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're able to sort of pass that sort of knowledge on to others. So I think one of the things I sort of told myself, I think I might have even told my employers, that is I want to sort of be someone that people can actually reach out to and ask about the business, especially so maybe it's like pre-sales people or just other people in the business. I want to know sort of a bit more on private markets. I'm sort of like the first point of call. So even on Teams, there'll be a lot of people messaging me about a certain account or what the conversation was like when we spoke to people. And just having that sort of product knowledge, so people are happy to come to me. They know I've got that knowledge. Even my boss is directing people to me when they want to find out a bit more about things. Even my sales directors, they're asking me about certain parts of the business, certain renewals, customer success, how client is. So just sort of playing that sort of a bigger role, I really appreciate that. And I love it when people sort of come to me for knowledge and advice and questions about the business. Even other SDRs in my role, they're asking how sort of I did things, even though I kind of started after them. So asking my advice and asking how I'd go about sort of certain things. So just playing a sort of a key role in the business, I love it. That's what I kind of wanted to be doing after a year.
Yeah.
So,
Just be doing that sort of box to box deck.
Yeah. Yeah, all over.
If you can make yourself invaluable though, like not being funny, it's just you know, you're part of the furniture, which is great. Cool. I guess just to wrap it up, I know we're coming up to time. Like, what advice would you give to people looking to break into tech sales? Like, what would you say to yourself maybe 2 years ago?
Take the opportunity to learn and just trust the process. If the more you sort of learn, the more you'll be sort of building up your skill set, and the more you'll be in a sort of eligible to sort of get the big roles that you want. So just be a student and learn. It's been like everyone's sort of, a lot of people have kind of gone through. They might have had a lot more knockbacks than you, but just be resilient, don't give up, and just be willing to learn. And everything's a lesson. When you get knocked back, maybe just look at maybe what sort of stage the interview process was. Maybe you didn't know too much about the company. Maybe you weren't able to sell yourself a bit more. Maybe you weren't able to align yourself to what the company were looking for. But just don't just sort of get demotivated and just kind of put yourself your best foot forward, dust yourself off, go again, and just learn from everyone else. Make yourself a student and just stay positive. Really, stay positive.
Keep that energy up.
100%. I think even that I was looking for some time.
Yeah.
And there's a few knockbacks and everything, but I think I managed to stay positive and just knew that something was on the other end.
100%. You believe it will happen.
100%. Yeah, and just kind of take the steps to kind of that will help you to sort of achieve your goals. So there'll always be, whether it's to be doing a bit more research, something like the Entertech program, just engaging with when you've got industry experts that are on the course. If there's something that's your weak point, so you might have your weak point might be on the phones, it might be your email cadences. Just kind of take the steps to kind of learn people, ask people how do I get better in this, how do I get better at that sort of part of the business, and just take it in and just learn. So
love it, mate.
Definitely.
And what's the best place if people want to reach out and find you?
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. So I'm on. So you'll probably see me blind to fire. It should be a green the chat thing. So
nice.
Yeah,
the green dot.
Yeah. I'm always on there for my work. So
well, thanks for coming on.
No problem. Pleasure.
We'll have to have you down at the next meetup.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm there.
Love
it.
Legend.
Good to see you.